and I'm with him because he's black. You're fucking disgusting for saying that. No, wait, Mallory. You're right. I went out and I searched for a black man, and I have forced him to love me and be with me just so I can say, hey y'all, I'm a YT woman with a black man. Some of y'all have lost your ever-loving fucking minds. I don't weaponize shit. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of who's in my life. I'm proud who I have chose to spend my life with. And that. So then y'all attack him, and then you attack anyone that is anywhere close associated with me. You attack those people. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, what was happening with Florida Man's people? And I'm not fond of a lot of the things that he's done or a lot of the things that he said, but I'm definitely not going to go live and speak on that man. I'm not going to go and speak on anyone that supports him. I've learned, and I'm at this point now where I'm going to stay in my lane and I'm going to mind my business, and I'm not going to terrorize or taunt someone who's not doing that to me. You know, I know some of y'all aren't fans of Bougie. Okay, I get that, but I can honestly say that Bougie has not done half the shit that Stephanie has done to me, and Stephanie was supposed to be my friend. And I'm sorry if that's hard for some of y'all to hear, but that's the truth. You know? Does that mean that Bougie and I are best friends? Does that mean that I text her and I talk to her every day and we kiki it up? Do I talk and text to Florida Man? No, I don't. I don't have their numbers. And you know, the only reason why they got my number is because Witty gave my number to OG, and then OG gave my number. Witty did that. And then Witty made up a whole lie and told everybody the reason why she did it was because I was speaking on her, saying that she had herpes. I never said a damn thing about that woman having that shit. It was because she was in a drunken stupor and she got taken advantage of, and she doxed my number. And Violet, you were wrong. She said my husband was sorry because I worked so much. Oh, Survivor, I know who you are. I'm sorry to hear that. And my condolences go out to you and your family. I just, like I said, I walked away from Megan. I walked away from Stephanie. And what have those two women chosen to do to me? All because I wanted to walk away and I just wanted to just move on. And everybody is wondering, well, what happened between you and Stephanie? I found out that the woman literally threatened to take my life. And then she lied about it. She literally physically showed a pew-pew to a group of women and threatened to take my life over TikTok. And all because I found out the truth, and I found out about a lot of other things that she lied about. By God, guess where Stephanie did? Stephanie ran so fast to Megan, and by God, she did another fucking little phone dump. It's crazy. And now, Stephanie, because you got so wrapped up into TikTok, you have basically ruined your life. And you are facing a felony charge for signing a judge's signature on a fake document. All over fucking TikTok. And then you went over and you tried to, tell Megan where you thought I was working, but you were wrong. Because I knew, Stephanie, I knew for a long time that you were lying. You think I was going to tell you where I was actually working? You think I was actually going to tell you what I was actually doing for real, for work? Or what I was doing in my real everyday life? Hell no. I fed you so much full of bullshit, and I read you, and I tell you, Mike read you like the book, the predictable book that you are. And you did exactly what we knew you would do. And you guess what you did, Stephanie? You went and you ran over to Megan, the same woman who you literally begged me to get a protection order against, and said that Megan was dangerous and she was a wackadoodle. And you said all these horrific things about Megan, and all because what? Because I walked away from you? Because you threatened my life? And you lied? And things just weren't adding up, and I just didn't want to be a part of it no more, so I just walked away, and you couldn't deal with it. And here you are, still on TikTok, under your sneaky accounts, going into Smashley's live, going into MJ's live. Under your fake accounts. You tried to come in here under your account here, but you got blocked out. And you got mad, and then you ran over to Megan. But you know who's never doxed me? You know who's never done shitty things to me? Andy's never doxed me. Andy's had my real number before. Andy's never doxed me. Andy's never, There's been times when, like I said, when they walked away from Stephanie, and Stephanie had me secluded because she wasn't expecting me to have those conversations with Lady Day or Andy. She wasn't ever expecting me to make amends or to have conversations. And then when that actually happened and we started all putting two and two together, and Stephanie realized that I was finding things out, it pissed her off. But hey, when everybody's on that Shannon hate train, right, we're all just going to dismiss all the fuck shit that everybody has done to me, and we're going to go take all those people in that have done all that fuck shit to Shannon, and we're going to befriend them, and we're all going to just continue to hate on Shannon. You know, I have been chewed up and spit out all over this fucking app. And I will say that as many times as I have just wanted to just throw my hands up in the air and just give in and just, you know, disappear. I am truly thankful that I do have Mike in my life, because that man has never allowed me to just give up. I don't know. But hey, I guess, you know, I guess now some of y'all are going to have to make those hard decisions, and y'all are going to have to decide whether or not you're allowed to be my friend or not. You know, if y'all are going to be able to, you know, take the heat or take the pressure, because if you're, you know, seen making a comment to me or speaking to me. I guess some of y'all are going to have to make the decision whether or not that's going to be, you know, I know for a fact that Southern she ain't going to go nowhere, you know. I tell you what, that's one that's been a real bitch through all the shit that I've been through. But like I said, all you individuals that keep, you know, saying that you don't like me and that you can't stand me and that you hate me and that I'm so terrible, stop chasing me around this app. You know, why is it when I go somewhere, why do you feel the need to say something? Why can't you just move on? Hell, I'd rather you just ignore me and act as if I don't exist. That right there, I could handle that. You know. And you know, I said that rejection is protection, but I'm learning now that rejection is redirection. You know. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's fine. I don't have to be liked by everybody. I'm not out here, you know. I know people. There are a lot of people out here that they want to be liked by everybody. I don't need to be liked by everybody. But some of y'all need to really truly ask yourself how you're acting and how you're behaving on this app, and what you were doing, people, on this app. I want y'all to really, really ask yourselves, like, how is this affecting this other person? You know? I don't even think you're human if you cannot ask yourself if your behavior is becoming so erratic and so unhinged and so hateful and so hurtful that the thought of knowing that you're hurting another human being and trying to break another human being down, if that can bring a smile on your face and that can bring joy into your life, you're a really messed up person. And if you're the type of individual that can hold an entire life just to humiliate somebody every single moment of your time on TikTok, some of y'all just get laser focused on people and y'all eat at them. I mean, hell, let's just be honest. I mean, you know, you had Smashley and Mallory fighting for the longest time, and then they made up, and then they were all in cahoots together, and then, you know, they were everyone was kind of getting along, and then all of a sudden, you know, Mallory went off the bandwagon, and now it's, you know, Mallory and Smashley on the hate train. You know, I think that a lot of us can collectively agree that, you know, Mallory is just, she's her own little entity. She lives in her own little narcissistic world. But I'm not Mallory. I'm just somebody that's not going to continue to allow people to bash and trash me and not think that I'm not able to react and respond back. I have every right to defend myself. Every right. I have every right to defend myself. I have had so many lies. I mean, let's be real. Stephanie got caught in a whole lie. And it admitted that she made up the lie about my ex-husband. She lied about me putting a cheese grater to my face. She admitted it. You know, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did it. I just, you know, I was just mad and I was just upset. Really? So you had a whole group of people believing your lie. All because what? You were pissed off? There's been so many people in this app that have done so many people so fucking dirty. And it's just like they almost get a free fucking pass. But like I said, it's the selective outreach for me. Y'all pick and choose who the fuck you bully every fucking day. Me reacting to what someone else is doing to me, that's not bullying. That's me being fed up. I feel like that I've actually have not gone my full potential of being a complete and utter asshole like I used to be. I'm just now using people's own words against them because you can't really say, right? It's like Mallory, when you use Mallory's own words against her, she can't stand it. And then she tries to copyright you because she doesn't want anyone else to know that she's a walking, talking contradiction. And then you got Megan. She don't even know who she is on a day-to-day basis. She's so fucking bipolar. She's so fucking up and down. She treats her friends like shit. Screams at them, yells at them. You know, Anderson, Pam Anderson, cousin, whoever the fuck you are under your whatever account with your 0 followers. Hold on. Give me a second here. I'm not going to address that situation no more. As far as I'm concerned, that's said, done, over with. I'm not going to speak on a lot of things no more. And I don't owe anyone on this app nothing. I don't owe anyone. I don't owe you a conversation. I don't owe you a second of my time. You're not entitled to nothing. And I tell you this, how bad that this app has gotten. It's gotten people so comfortable where they'll go and make a whole screen name, whether it's doxing somebody or whether it's, to just try to be hateful or mean, and to go around and just taunt and terrorize people. And some of y'all live for that. Some of y'all live for it. And what's crazy is a lot of you individuals that have this opinion about me, once again, you've never had a conversation with me. You don't even know me. A lot of you base your opinions about me based on what somebody else thinks, because heaven forbid you actually try to get to know me as a person, but you don't want to take that risk because, if you go back into another person's live, they're going to be like, oh, well, were you talking to Shannon? Or I saw you in Shannon's live. Are you her friend? I'm at this point now where I'm just going to start blocking the fuck out of everybody that continues. If I see you view my profile and I know that you don't care for me and you talk shit about me, I'm just going to block you. If I don't know you, if I have never spoken to you, I'm just going to block you. And I'm telling you, TikTok allows you to block over 10,000 people. And I promise you, I'm the queen of blocking. I have no problems with blocking people. You're not going to get to have access to me because you think you're entitled to get in a box and say what you want to me. And you guys can, there's no safe place or safe space for anybody. I'm so sick of hearing that shit. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say, oh, this is a safe place. No, it's not. It's TikTok. You're going to have one or two people that are going to be upset because somebody's in a live and they're going to get mad and they're going to start bickering and fighting. There's no safe place for nobody. Hey, but I just don't understand, like I said, the people that continue to come in here who have continued to talk shit about me and trash me, think that they get to come into my live and just talk to me any which way they want. Why are you here? Why do you even want to come over here? What's the purpose? What's the point? You think that I'm going to allow you to come over here to bully me or even bully anybody that's in my chat that I care about? As soon as I saw Andy getting attacked in that live, I left. I saw like one or two comments and I was like, you know what? The fact that they're attacking Andy because I'm over here, like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's because I have a heart and I care for people and I care what other people are being put through. But you know, you have the same individuals that sit on this app every fucking day and and tear people down on a daily basis for entertainment. And some of y'all just sit around and you laugh about it every single fucking day. Y'all sit there and you live stream other people. You watch other people on TikTok to mock them, to make fun of them, to belittle them, to trash talk them. Also, your little group of people can feel like y'all hold some sense of power. I'm just at this point. I just wish some of y'all would just leave me the fuck alone. I mean, there's people on this app that are literally taking their lives because of harassment and bullying. Hell, y'all, a lot of y'all on here have mocked my mental health. Y'all mocked it since 2024, and y'all have spewed misinformation and lies, and y'all have ran with so much shit. When 99.9% of y'all don't even know half of the shit that I've had to deal with mentally, and I've gotten through so much shit, and I've done that on my own. And I refuse to allow another person to make me feel less than ever again. And I can honestly say I'm proud of myself for how far along I've come with my mental health. I'm not perfect. There's a lot of things I need to still work on, but I am proud of where I'm at today. I've had to learn a lot of hard lessons with a lot of people on this app who I thought were my real friends. They've played in my face. They refuse to admit they have played in my face. They will refuse to admit the roles that they played in the shitty things that they have also done. A lot of people on this app have too much pride to say, you know what? I handled that wrong and I'm sorry. Some people have too much pride. They don't want to admit they're wrong. But if I've learned anything on this app, I have learned to trust not a goddamn soul on this app. Not when it comes to my real personal life. Not when it comes to anything that has to do anything off of this app. I discuss that with no one. And I'm sorry that if my happiness and my growth upsets you guys, because some of y'all want to I feel like some of y'all want to try to keep me in the same old space that I was in before. I think a lot of y'all don't allow people to grow because y'all just keep on and on and on. But I think a lot of y'all need to own up to some shit that y'all have done and the things that y'all have played part in on all sides. You know, I can say that, yeah, you know, and this is not me trash talking him or bashing him. You know, has Florida man, has he pushed the limits? Has he taken things to a whole new level? Absolutely. You know, but have a lot of y'all also pushed those limits and have done a lot of things? You have. You know, there's a lot of people on this app that have a lot of skeletons in their closet, and they don't want those brought out, but they want to bring out everybody else's skeletons and humiliate other people and bash other people. I just don't know how some of y'all just can't leave well enough alone and just say that the hell with that person. I'm not going to give them a lick of my energy and I'm just going to move on to better things. But some of y'all spend your days bullying, tormenting, and terrorizing people for entertainment. And Violet, I have seen your recent post. I didn't give that name, Ray. Okay. And if you want to try to make that racial, you can go on with that, but that's not. I did not give myself that name. And as far as I'm concerned, this is my TikTok page, and I'll put whatever the hell I want to. And Andy made it just to be silly, and I thought it was funny. Andy, honey, girl, listen. I'm never going to understand people's thought process. You know, I could sit here and eat a saltine cracker. Oh my God, in live, I think I even called myself a cracker. And somebody made a remark about me calling myself a cracker. What I find funny is I know a lot of y'all come on this app and y'all try to make people perceive that you're a certain way, but we all know a lot of you individuals that are off of this app act like a whole different person. And I guarantee you, a lot of you individuals talk a whole lot of different ways when you're not on this app. We all know that you got to tickle foot around certain words around here on this app because people are so easily offended. And I'm at this point that I'm not going to tickle foot around other people's feelings, because as y'all get to go onto your platforms and spew and say the things that you say, I have every right to do so as well. But Ray, I think you just need to let this go, because you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Okay. And we're not going to turn something silly into something that it isn't. But I think, like I said, a lot of you people need to stop having these, bullying and harassment and bashing lives, because it's a ritual. It has become a common ritual on TikTok, where people are demanded to get in boxes and told that we need to have these conversations and you need to do this and do that. Well, my topic for this live piece is people feeling the need to trash and bash people and trying to tell people who they can and can't be friends with, and then attack people in a live, all because I'm there. I mean, because apparently, since Andy's my mod, I guess Andy, she has to get lashed at and bashed on. But I'm at this point, if you are wanting to have a conversation with me, then if you want to have a respectful conversation, one that's going to lead to a resolution, I'm all for those conversations. But if you don't want to have a conversation where there's an actual resolution, then leave me the fuck alone. And I'm sorry if that's too hard for some of y'all to comprehend, but I refuse to put myself in a place or space where I am going to be, silenced or muted, or where the conversation or the narrative is controlled to fit that other person. We had tacos for dinner, Peace. I made tacos. I made homemade tacos. Yep. Homemade tacos. Oh, well, that sounds good. And I've come up to this this theory, you know, with the people that I've had issues with. We had both, Peace. We had hard shell and soft shell. I'm at this point that the people that want to continue to do the most to me, or they think they're doing the most to me, I'm at this point where if you have to use my name to keep yourself relevant, go for it. If you have to say my name every single day when you are on this app to make yourself feel relevant, you know, if you have to be that pretentious and you have to feel like you're, you know, you hold this higher knowledge and higher power and that you're going to do the absolute most to me, if that makes you feel better as a person, fucking do it. But I'll tell you, I'm human, and just like anyone else, a person can only take so much, you know. And when I decide to say whatever it is that I need to say, don't cry because your feelings get hurt. Because I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to stand up for myself. Because you know why? Because I have enough respect for myself. And I'm not going to just sit here and just take it. You know, everyone just says, well, let them do it. Just let them get it out of their system. Just let it get out of their system. Really? I mean, Megan's been going on for what, 10 months? 10? Hell, Mallory's been a forever dick since I've known that bitch, since 2024. And then you got people like Violet and Lip Glossy and Levon and Pedro and Mama Bear and all the little minions underneath the, you know, these other content creators because they're too unoriginal that they can't hold their own platform. So they got to ride on the coattails of someone else's platform to have some type of self-importance, to have some type of validation as if they belong because they're attached to somebody. And I think that's the problem with this app is that some of y'all latch on to these content creators and you think it gives y'all some self-importance. A lot of y'all have lost the meaning of being a free thinker, of having your own thoughts and your own opinions. A lot of y'all are just become robotic minions that latch on to other content creators because you don't have the balls enough to go live on your own platform. Half the people that talk all the shit that they talk don't even have the balls enough to even get into boxes. But y'all have got the balls enough to hide behind your screen and your username to talk your shit. But I'll tell you what, 99% of y'all wouldn't say half the shit that y'all say in the comment section. Y'all wouldn't say that to my face. And you know, peace, that's a choice that you've chosen, right? You don't get in boxes. And you have your reason for doing so. I, I will say that when it comes to TikTok, okay, a lot of people do not have the courage or the balls to create their own content, to go live themselves. So what do those people do? They latch on to a content creator because they want to belong. Because you got to be with a group. Don't tell me that there's no groups. I mean, you've got Pastor Petty, and you've got his people. You've got Smashley. You've got her people. You've got, people like Holly Mae Rutina. They've got their people. Every single time, the same people are in every single live. It's a group of people, the same people. The same people. Every single night. Like clockwork. And it's like they feed off of each other. You can't say that that's not true, because it is. When it comes to this side of TikTok, it's the same group of people that just recycle or get recycled from group to group. I mean, let's talk about, let's just say Mallory, for instance, right? Mallory was once sitting with Petty, riding hard for him. She got booted off the island. She spent months on end trashing and bashing him. Smashley's, trashing and bashing Mallory. So then you got that group going against that group. Everybody says they're a free thinker. No, you're not. Because if you sit with one group, you can't go into another person's live. Because if you're caught in another person's live, you're going to get called out, and they're going to question why you were there. Can y'all imagine being a grown-ass adults, the grown-ass adults that we are, having other grown-ass adults telling us where we can and cannot go, what we can and cannot do. And then if we don't abide by the masses' rules, I've never sat with a group. I don't feel the need to have a group of people. I feel like I've just kind of I'm more like a floater. I'm like, oh, that shit's going on. Oh, well, that shit's going on. I mean, like I said, I've always said, shit, how, if you're in my live and you're kicking it with me, do you know how many times, Peace, that I have had people in my lives shooting the shit with me and having a good old time with me, and then they'll go into a live where I'm not liked, and then they talk shit on me in that live? Where do I sit? Where have I been sitting? I've interacted with people, but I definitely don't gather with the group to seek validation. I've definitely have never felt the need to, charge people to subscribe to my account to be able to use stickers. I don't live for TikTok gifts or TikTok clout. I just wish people would just stop feeling like they have to conform to other people's beliefs to belong somewhere. And that's what this app has turned into. It's if you don't believe what this group of people is running with, or what they're going for, then you're not a part of the cool kid group. And I feel like that there's a lot of content creators on here that feel like they have to have control of their people. It's like it's a control tactic. I feel like it is. I feel like that there's a lot of content creators on here that feel like that they have this sense of seniority, as if they get to dictate who can do what and say what. You know how many times I've seen people, right, like a seniority, like they hold some type of sense of higher power, as if what they say goes. It's like you can't go against that content creator. How many times have you seen a content creator say, if I see you over there in that live, you're getting blocked. If I see you over there interacting with such and such, you're gone. Well, higher anarchy, however you want to word it. I just feel like some people feel like that they have this higher self-importance, that whatever they say goes, and if you don't run what they want to happen, it's just like you're just like booted, or you're bashed for it. Well, maybe you're one of the rare few, Peace. Maybe you're one of the rare few, but I will tell you, there's not a lot. Do you know how crazy this was, Peace? I'll tell you. I was in a live, in a new content creators live, and I was just in there, and somebody from this side saw me in there and attacked me in that live, in the comment section, asking me why I was there, as if they get to control where I go on this app, because I had never been in there before. Yep. Oh God, they'll go in there. Oh, Shannon, I know who you are. I know what you've done. I know what you've said. Why are you over here? And I'm like, what the fuck? That is how fucking weird some of you individuals are on this app. You go around and you just find someone that you don't like, and when you see them in any type of space or place, you go around and terrorize them. Yeah. I swear to God, I can't tell y'all how many times I have tried to reset my fucking FYP. I've even actually come across certain people's lives, and I have even actually just typed in some people's names and have started just blocking people, because they're like, well, I don't like Shannon. Okay, well, I'm going to fix that problem for you. I'm just going to go ahead and block you so you don't see my shit. And then you know what those people do? They go and make another fake account to come still see what the fuck I'm doing. And at this point, it's like, are you a stalker or are you a fan? Are you a stalker or are you a fan? Because see, in real life, when you're like no longer want to associate with somebody and you move on from somebody, do you stalk them? Do you drive by their home? Do you drive by their job? Right? Right. Do you call their work and terrorize them? Do you go online on your Facebook? Do you dox them? No. You know? And if you work if I work with somebody, and you got to be cordial, right? If you work with somebody, but that don't mean that you got to be friends with them outside of work. You're cordial. But people don't know how to be cordial on here. People don't know how to be respectful. Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But people don't put that, but they don't put the two and two together. But see, Smashley doxed my phone number on her green screen because she was in her feelings. I get that, but you know what people do? Oh, I love this. This is my favorite thing. It's the selective outrage, right? Right? I mean, I've literally have sat here and watched people just do the utmost worst things to people because they're behind their phones. And they don't realize how they're truly affecting a person. You know? Me personally, for me, I'm at this point where I'm just going to start blocking every fucking account that I see. Whether, like I said, you view my profile, you come around, I'm just going to block you. If you come into my live, or if you come into my, view my profile with 0 following, 0 followers, you're gone. I mean, I just literally, before I even came live, I literally, I think it was like 4 or 5 people that literally were just talking mad shit or viewing my shit. You know? And it's a lot easier said than done, because when people sit down here in the comment section, they really don't endure what content creators who actually go in live endure. See, and see, that's where I'm at this point now when you can't support me at my lowest. Why would I ever allow you around me when I'm doing the best in my life, or I'm doing better in my life? When you couldn't even stick around and be a true, just decent human being at someone's lowest point, what makes them think that they can just have access to me when I am succeeding? You know? It's kind of like, I'll do an example. It's kind of like someone who's overweight and who's heavier and doesn't get, attention, or, any type of, love or respect for certain people, because they see them as a heavier person. But then let's say that heavier person loses weight and gets thinner or gets skinnier, and then that's when people want to acknowledge them. No. I see it as if you couldn't have accepted me for who I was then why would I allow you around me now? That's kind of where I'm at. I've just come to the conclusion that with social media, it's all gone to hell in a handbasket. I think it's become too easy for people. I think sometimes people use social media as a release to let out all their anger and aggression on other people, because it's so easy to hide behind your phones and to do the worst to people and get away with it. I just think it's sad that a lot of people get backlash because they choose to want to continue to still be supportive of me or even other people, and they get bashed for it. I think that's sad that grown-ass adults, people in their 30s and 40s and 50s, continue to just be assholes. But I'll always defend myself. I don't need I always say, if you ever want to know who the true bully is, look at people that have to sit with a group of people to bully one person. I know that I can stand alone. I know that I can hold alive on my own, and I can stand on my own 2 feet and hold my head up high, knowing that I didn't need a group of people to back me to speak up for myself. I don't need a bunch of cheerleaders. But I'll say that I have learned some very, very hard lessons as far as it comes to parasocial relationships and friendships. One thing I've learned is tell people nothing about your real life. You will be safer and you will have more peace in your life when you do not intermingle your real personal life in social media. And I'm learning to totally set that boundary for myself. And like I said with Stephanie, honey, I would never tell you where I work. I would never tell you what Mike truly does for work. I would never, ever, after all the shit that you've done, trust me, honey, I was protecting myself. And I was telling you the absolute opposite. And it was for a reason. It's because you're not trustworthy. I don't, I'm the type of person that, like, if you want to walk away and not be my friend, that's okay. You know how many people that have just decided to just go about their own business and their own life? I don't really speak on them. I don't talk about it. Doesn't mean that I don't think about it, but I don't feel the need to continue to tear them down for it. We all have our own personal reasons why we've decided to no longer be associated with another person, but Sometimes it's just like, when do you have that just mutual understanding of, it is what it is, you go your way and I go mine, and you go on about your life. And I guess it's so easy for people to just, they latch on to people that just want to be mean and hateful, and they enjoy that shit. They feed on it. They find it funny. They love it. They live for it. They live for the day-to-day just disarray and chaos. I don't, I've gotten frustrated with people on here, but I've never I've never yelled or screamed at anybody on my platform as my friend. I've always said, hey, can we talk about this later? Or, if this live ends, or, we need to have a talk or a conversation. But I don't feel like that I've ever gotten, you know, even as frustrated as I've been in certain situations, I've never tore someone down and say that they were my friend, you know. But some people just don't know when to stop, and some people just don't know when to just move on. And I'll never understand how some people think. But I'll tell you that, a lot of these people that have done the things that they've done to me and continue to do and still get praised for it, I'm still getting crucified for my past mistakes that I have already apologized for time and time again. But I guess I'm just, it's not about the quantity anymore. It's about the quality in people. You know, I'd rather be and alive with 10 solid quality people instead of being in a pretentious fake ass live that has no meaning or purpose with 5, 6, 700 people in it. Um, they are beautiful. There are some people that are, honestly, it's it's freaky how some people are obsessed with me. And I mean, the obsession is real. It's almost, I see it as if there's some people that are so obsessed and they are so laser focused on me. The obsession is, it's disturbing. It's disturbing behavior. And the fact that people aren't calling that shit out blows my mind. The fact that people aren't opening up their mouths and saying, stop, you need to move on. This shit is getting old. Lay it to rest. It was when Megan held that little 24-hour live that she held on me and replayed old clips, and and they all talked and trashed and bashed me and just, commentated every word that I said. And they did that for over 24 hours. Not one person ever got into that box and said, "This is ridiculous. This has gone on long enough. This is psychotic behavior. This is abnormal." Not one single person. I don't have the time or energy to hold a 24-hour live to talk about the same person for hours and hours. It's I think that some people just fixate, and they become so, it consumes them. I feel like that some people have, it's like their obsession with me has consumed their entire life. And that's the reason why I don't even really want to show my face when I'm live anymore, because people just want to take screenshots so they can make videos and laugh at you and mock you and try to humiliate you. You know? But with that being said, it's 9:30. I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna go lay down with my man and go watch a movie and enjoy the rest of my night. And I'm just gonna say that I'm just gonna start blocking the shit out of people. And this is not my main account, by the way. This is not my main. I don't have live access on my main account till the 25th. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just enjoy the rest of my week and just hang out, work, and live my normal everyday life. And when I go live, I go live. I just know, for me personally, I think my interactions with TikTok for a while, I think it's just going to be far few and in between at this point. And then when summer gets here, I'm definitely just going to embrace summer and enjoy summer and probably not even be on TikTok at all. So. But anyway, thank you guys for coming in, Andy. All you other ladies as well. I appreciate you. Y'all have been some real ones. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.